Hello, welcome to the APW. Today it is Tax the Heat in session. This is Alex and it's time for the gear run through. So let's start at the shiny Les Paul standard end.
This beautiful guitar.
Yeah, that's lovely.
So this is a 1990 Gibson Les Paul standard. I've had this for, I don't even know how long, maybe like, probably 10 years.
Right.
But I got it from a shop in London. I just went in and I saw it. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And turns out they're really rare, these white standards. The pickups in them are just so pokey as well. It's just, they're really, really hot sounding. And I've actually got a picture of Mick Jones from The Clash playing on this guitar.
That actual guitar?
This guitar.
That is phenomenal.
I don't think he owned it, but when I got it from that particular shop, they did have him in there. So I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
I mean, the white is something you more normally associate with the custom, which is a set different sounding guitar.
Yeah, totally. And it's the kind of white binding as well. You don't see the white Les Pauls with the white binding. And the pickups are just great. I think they're Bill Lawrence pickups. They're just they're really lively guitar. Very cool.
That is cool, really nice. Have you done anything to the tuners, or they help as
I had to replace the tuners. They one of them pinged off. I was at a gig, and this was in my last band, and I just put it down, and some guy just walked past it, and it was like one of those moments. And one of them came clean off, and I tried to repair it, but after a few years, it just finally gave up. So I had to replace the tuners. Everything else is completely original, and I just love like the wear on it, and it's kind of that it's gone a bit kind of yellow from where people used to smoke in venues, and before I had it, way before I had it. It's just a really cool guitar.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's my number one.
So where do we go from here?
Yeah, I built this board, and so we're going into the Polytune.
Okay.
And then down into this Arc Effects clon, which is just so good. Like when we did both albums, actually, I used an original clone pedal that the Centaur, our producer, owned, and it just sounded amazing. So I was looking for something to replicate that. Read about the Arc Effects things, and that is just a killer pedal. I wouldn't kind of gig without it, really. And you can kind of really colour your tone without doing too much. It's just a nice, clean kind of boost to the overall signal. The
Clon Centaur was kind of like the last word in transparent overdrives, isn't it?
Exactly.
So I don't think the guy meant to do it like that. No. It just turned out really great.
No.
I think there's a mass-produced one with an apology printed on the front that you can get.
Yeah.
But this is quite cool.
It's like the Holy Grail.
Yeah, it is.
I think he apparently the original circuitry, whenever they went out, he'd like dip it in glue or something so people could replicate it. Yeah. But this actually, I have to say, this is pretty close.
Yeah.
For a fraction of the price. It's great. Really nice. Really nice.
Nice. So you're going into what have we got next? Because this is all
up to the Tube Screamer.
Okay.
Which is the kind of, it's got the kind of the classic Tube Screamer settings, but there's a few more kind of things in it. Is it the TS9 DX or DS?
Oh right, yeah. Let's see if we can make that up. Probably not quite.
Yeah.
So are we getting into late 80s now with this one?
Yeah, that's an original, and I tend to use that for like lead breaks really. With the Clon, it just kind of it just drives the amp really, really nicely. Nice.
So it's gone really dark now. So, but yeah, so you're going from here. You're using the Clon to push the Tube Screamer.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. And then is it the fuzz after that?
It goes down to my favourite pedal of them all.
Oh yeah.
Which is this Bit Commander, which is it's an octaver, but it kind of is a bit more than that. You can do some really, really strange things with it, and if you like, the way I use it on my guitar, I use my neck pickup, roll down the volume to just sort of 2 or 3, and if you play with your thumb, it's almost like a synth. So that's great.
That's cool.
I use it a lot. The Dr. No, which is the Octo Fuzz, which has got just again loads of sounds within it. I use it with the octave in it, for a few songs, but you can take that switch on the top right and it turns into just a general fuzz.
Oh, sweet. I love pedals like that.
Yeah, it's great. It's really cool.
So then we're going down
to
here.
the Grand Orbiter, another Earthquaker Devices pedal, and that's just a phaser. Again, really musical, and there's so many sounds within it, and you can change what you're doing quite easily. So that gets a bit of action with the clean sounds.
Nice.
And then into the DD3, which I'll flip between short delays and longer delays depending on the songs. But I've had that probably since I was about 16. So
yeah,
that's been gigging with me as long as I've been gigging, really.
I mean, they're the Boss pedal like that. They're kind of like forever pedals.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it's just great. You can do so much with them.
So we come out of the delay. Oh, we got. Is this connected?
Yes, that is my boost. So that goes directly to the amp, and it's basically just an on switch to the boost on the back of the Matamp.
All right.
So that's it.
So let's see the Matamp.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fist.
Take us through the fist. That's the
fist is literally just a giant fist. Right. You don't need to know anything else about it. It's just a fist
in a box.
It's a fist in a box. Now, it's the simplest amp, and I've had many amps, and this is by far, I'd probably say it's the best amp in the world.
Yeah.
I do own it, obviously, and I'm a bit biased, but I do love it. So it's just a single channel. But you've got that boost, obviously, that I was just saying about, which it just gives you a bit more headroom and also a bit more gain. You can use the amp without the boost pedal in, and you get a really nice overdriven sound as well.
All right.
But it's just a real simple amp, and it just sounds great, really musical. Into the cab, which is a 2x12, open top, closed bottom. Wow. And when I was at the factory, trying them out, when I was using those pedals, that Bit Commander in particular, it just sounded like that is my sound. I instantly, like, I'd never heard it before, but I was like, that's what I want to be touring with for the next few years at least. And every time I use it, I just think, wow, I just want to keep using it. I want to go home and plug it in. It's great. So they were building for Orange in the 60s when, like, Orange were kind of legendary, really. Like people like Peter Green were using them, and when it came to choosing how I wanted this amp to be built, because they build it all for you, that I was talking to Hayden, the guy who built it, and he was saying, oh yeah, like Peter Green had the salt and pepper grill on the cab, and I was just thinking, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I'll have that. But yeah, they built for them, and then and those original Mat amps are really sought after. And then I think in the 90s it started up again. Yeah. And they started getting big in the kind of stoner and doom world, actually, in the States. But for me, I just think it's a great rock amp, you know. If you're using like a great guitar like a Les Paul that just sounds cool, keep it as simple as possible, which is what the amp is. I mean, it's so simple. I mean, look at the size of those. Ridiculous. Giant. You couldn't get it wrong, really, could you? No. So, yeah, just giant knobs. And that's what I'm all about, giant knobs. But yeah, I love it, absolutely love it, and really happy with the setup at the moment, you know. Yeah, lovely. Oh, you're obviously running cables in here today because you're standing right in front of the amps. Yeah. You know, we're in a little studio. What do you run live? So live, I use a PRA audio wireless unit, which goes just before the Polytune, right? Who are an American company, and they're really great. Small units, they're not heavy, they connect straight away. Again, just real simple. And when you're on the fly, you're doing festivals, and you haven't got time to mess around, just instantly you're there, you're doing it. And yeah, so that's it. That's the only difference, really. When we're doing a show. Other than that, this is exactly as is. Okay, moving around the Tax the Heat session to JP. Howdy. How do you do? I'm good. Excellent. We have a Telecaster. Yeah. And we've got a rather nice little Seymour Duncan mini humbucker in the neck, which is I'm interested in, actually, for personal reasons, because I've got a Telecaster. The neck pickup's quite annoying, and they look quite nice. Are they?
Oh yeah, it's a really great sound to it, actually. Do you want me to show you?
Yeah, go on.
really fat.
Still kind of clear as well.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
So
It's not
kind
like
of,
muffled or anything.
no, I really like that, and quiet. There's no noise.
There's no noise. Yeah.
The electrics in this studio aren't the best in the world.
No.
So if you've got a quiet Telecaster, you're doing well in here.
Yeah, thank you.
So is that anything special about the one? Is that
No, well, I just put the Seymour Duncan in myself because one of my old tutors, he did the same.
Right.
And I heard it and I was like, I'm just going to copy him.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, I've had this. This is my number one. I've had this for since I was 11 years now.
Right.
I can't remember what year it is, but yeah, it's American Deluxe.
Very nice.
Yeah. Obviously with this missing.
Yeah, they fall off.
They always
They
do.
always lose those. That's what
Always.
Telecasters are all about.
Yeah.
But they still work in the end because they're very simple guitars. You
Yeah.
know, there's just two bits of wood bolted together and some electrics inside. You can't go wrong, really.
And I've also got that and
Oh,
This is my
a
number
rosewood Telecaster.
yeah, this is just one of the. It's not the custom.
No, all right.
Don't have enough money for that. This is just a Japanese, and this is great. I am going to put a Seymour Duncan, the same pickup
Yeah.
in there because I'm not a fan of that one, but still great guitar and it looks really
It's
cool.
nice.
as well.
That's got a good weight to it.
Yeah,
You could
it's
properly defend yourself on stage with this
Yes,
one. Yes.
like
Yeah.
Mr. Richards.
Indeed. That's the other thing Telecasters are for. So, out the telly into the pedal board.
Yes.
We've got a polytune,
Yeah, going into a polytune.
and then
then-
this looks interesting.
Yeah, this is a B-Tronics Octahive, and it's a small US company. And I was searching for a octave pedal, and I came across these guys, and I heard it, and I was just like, I definitely need one.
Yeah.
It's got a great sound.
I love the kind of RCA home radio
Yeah.
styling.
Yeah, this is proper gnarly.
Yeah,
It's got a real gnarly sound to it.
lovely. And you then, well, I don't even know.
Yeah, this.
Oh, it has voodoo and hoodoo.
Yes.
You do need that.
This is Dr. No.
Right.
1111 is the Alan Johannes signature pedal.
Right, okay.
So basically, what, in layman's terms, this
That might be
part,
best for me.
this is a fuzz,
Right.
and this is like it's like a wah that so you can have like a cocked wah.
Yeah.
So I'll show you. So,
Right.
basically.
So you smoothing out or giving a push to your
Yeah, I normally I don't use the fuzz on it as much, but the like the cocked wah setting
Yeah,
I use for like lead parts.
that sounds brilliant.
Yeah, so it just cuts through.
So there you going then into.
And then I'm going into
Oh yeah, they've seen quite a few of these.
Moog
recently.
MF Drive, which is pretty much on constantly.
Right, so that's your kind of bass tone going into
Yeah.
into your setup over
Yeah,
here.
it's going into an ABY,
Yeah.
and then coming out of the ABY into a Vox AC30.
Okay. Now, before we get to the next bit, is this have you got greens or blues or Wharfdales in there?
Greens, I believe.
Yep. See, I mean, that can kind of smooth out the town, and you
Yeah.
smooth out the town, smooth out the sound, and makes it a bit quieter as well. The
Yeah,
blues are so
yeah.
loud. They're really efficient,
Yeah.
but they're so loud. But that was a recognisable tone.
Yeah,
As soon as
so-
you started playing that earlier.
So like classic AC30 kind of sound, and I go straight into the top boost as well.
Yeah.
No messing.
No messing around. Is this one of the more recent? Ones.
I'm not sure.
I think it is. 'Cause
Yeah, it might
it's got a master volume.
Yeah.
So it would be one of the more recent ones, which is kind of good to know, because there's I read on Tinternet.
Loads of people hating on it.
Loads of people saying that you can't put drive pedals into the top boost channel unless you cut out a capacitor and other things inside.
Rubbish.
It's fine.
Absolutely fine.
It's happening straight into the top boost there, pedals there, sounds amazing. So let's just not worry about it.
Yeah.
Just enjoy
Chill
it.
out, guys.
It's great, it's fine. Don't worry about it, it'll be great. the fun thing is it's not a Leslie.
It's not.
But it is a rotary
it's a
speaker.
rotary speaker.
And it's
that's coming out the pedal board. Yeah, going into a Yamaha RA50.
Right. So, which
I
is
think it's 1970s. And
that's just amazing.
I got it for 150 quid.
Wow.
Bargain
indeed.
And it sounds great.
Yeah, go on. I'll go. So we get the full Doppler. I'll go. I mean, you know.
And obviously with this you can change the speed of it and.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a Digitech pedal. It doesn't quite sound as good as that one does, and that's amazing. If you're willing to go through having to chuck that in the back of a van every night, then
yeah,
that is
Strymon
so
do a really
worth
good
it.
one as well.
Yeah,
that's because you can. They've got a setting where you can press it down, and it speeds it and slows
right,
it down and stuff.
Right. So yeah, because the old ladies did have a kind of
yeah,
like an organ pedal where you can increase that. That sounds incredible. That sounds absolutely amazing. Yeah, cheers.
I like it. Thank you.
Thank you. There we are. So, Antonio.
Hello.
Hello. This is nice.
This isn't it?
It is. Please take us there.
Yeah, sure. So this is a custom built bass by a good friend called Seb Bachir. It's actually based on my 76 Fender P bass, so it's a direct clone of it. All spec'd out mainly kind of Fender parts for the most part, in a lovely gold finish.
Yeah.
These pickups are made by a guy called Peter Florence in the States, hand wired, matched to the pickups on my Fender bass. But it was a bit of an homage to my grandfather who passed away. So I got a little transcription, but it's more affectionately known as the Nonno bass, which is Italian for grandfather.
Right.
So yeah, it's nice, based on a Fender Precision bass. You can't really go too wrong.
There's an amazing piece of maple on the neck.
Yeah, American maple.
I don't know if the camera's picking that up right. Let's see if I can do something about that.
Yeah, lovely flamed maple across the neck.
There you go. Still doesn't do it justice. Indeed. Oh, there we are. I've got to pick up a bit with the flame there, but that's a really lovely instrument.
So yeah, this is kind of my main go-to bass at the moment. Playing it live and in the studio. Recorded quite a bit of the album on this one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Lovely. And then we're going into Polytune standard issue.
Yeah, we've all got the same Polytune. Yeah, but straight into the Polytune. Then it goes into a mini looper pedal, which is made by a very small pedal company in Brighton called Bright Onion Pedals.
I notice you've all got something from Bright Onion on your boards.
Yeah, I was the instigator of that.
Oh, okay. Are they friends of yours?
No, just a company that I came across. Just looking for a mini looper pedal so that I could get a load of effects into one loop and switch them all on at the same time.
Nice.
And came across this company that kind of seemed like a really solid local business with good pedals. So grabbed one from there. I think it was like 30 quid or something like that. It doesn't take up too much pedal board space.
Brilliant.
Which means more room for more pedals.
Yeah. So we've got bass octave next.
Yeah, so within this loop we've got these three pedals. So MXR Bass Octave Deluxe, great sounding octave pedal. I've kind of used like Boss OC2s and OC3s, but this one really works for me, tracks really well. It's got two different kind of sounds of sub octave, which is kind of like a nice blend between the two that I'm kind of using there. And then from there I'm going into, I believe, the Big Muff. So yeah, old school Russian Big Muff.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know your Big Muffs, you probably know the sound of that.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of the recordings being made here for the APW have had a form of Russian Big Muff or Big Muff Pie on them. They are that sound, aren't they?
I mean, it's got some serious real estate to it, but I think that just does an amazing job. Something that some of the more kind of modern clones of it or that can't quite achieve. But yeah, great sounding thing. Those two together, full destruction.
So if you jump on that one, does all of this activate?
Yeah, so at the moment it's off the loop, so these two pedals are on. So if I wanted like the Big Muff and the octave to come on at the same time, then all I've got to do is trigger that pedal, making sure that they're on. But yeah, I kind of use this more so to kind of control. Even if I have to put one pedal on, for example, I'll just make sure it's on in the loop, and I'll just use this pedal to switch it on and off if I'm going between like a clean or an affected tone.
Wow. That's really useful.
Yeah,
it's really nice because it's like you haven't got presets. That's the other thing about pedals. With multi-effects, you can save all of your presets. Yeah. But just by a simple looper pedal, that gives you some of that functionality, but with real analog boxes. I'm basically scheduling up my own preset every song, just to be triggered by the same pedal. Pretty much. That's brilliant. Yeah, good way around it. So out with the Big Muff.
Out with the Big Muff into this Blue Boy Deluxe Overdrive pedals. This is made by a company called MI Audio. They don't actually make this pedal anymore, it's discontinued. But this was recommended to me by a friend in Bristol. We were in the studio doing a session, and we used one of these, and it's a really low end orientated sound. Really retains it, which I know a lot of overdrive pedals can take it out. But yeah, beautiful sounding pedal. Kind of use it for variety, really. I don't use lots of different kind of things. It's more shades of the same thing, really. The Big Muff's really abrasive, and the Blue Boy is just, again, very nice and full sounding. It's got a really nice swell to it through its sound.
Yeah, I suppose that since with more modern pedals, they've got better at emulating the squish of a valve amp, but with a battery operated power supply and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you get a lot more sag, I think is the proper technical term for the effect you get. And you're coming out of there into
that completes the effects loop. So then that comes into this Solid Gold Effects beta pedal. So Solid Gold Effects are a Canadian pedal company. Again, just a internet find, really. I was after a kind of tube drive. My clean tone isn't really all that clean. It's a little bit gritty and grindy in places. So I wanted a very subtle tube drive, not to use as a in-your-face effect, but more just to colour what I've got in terms of a clean sound. So got in touch with those guys, who are very, very lovely people. But yeah, sounds great. I think this is a real core element of my sound. And
is that on all the time?
That's on all the time. Depending on the room and the setting, there are a couple of kind of more down tempo tracks that we do where I might kick that off just to clean it up a little bit more. But it's very responsive, so if I play lighter, you get a much more cleaner sound, and the more you dig in, the more that it kind of slightly overdrives it, makes it a little bit more dirtier sounding. But then that's used in conjunction with the Sans amp, which again is just a bit of colour to the clean sound, really. That's always on. So I use it just to shape the treble and bass frequencies a little bit, add a little bit of drive to it. But yeah, this kind of makes up my clean sound between those two pedals.
Normally, what amp do you normally use? Because today you've got the little Portaflex.
Yeah, so this is kind of ideal for smaller settings or studio like we're doing today.
Yeah.
So that's a PF 500. Great reliable head. I kind of take it around as a backup head, really. Yeah. Normally I use a SVT AV head. Again, great sounding amp.
Yeah.
That was actually my first tube head that I got, and after playing through one of those, I was like,
there's no going back.
Yeah. It's always that case of, it's that pursuit of finding the sound that you've got in your head. I've tried loads of different things. I've tried SWR gear, I tried even some of the other Ampeg kind of Class D stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, that tube head just sounds great. So I use that with a 410 HLF cab, which is ported at the bottom.
Lovely.
So it's like a 410 that's designed to sound like an 8x10.
Yeah.
But yeah, great sounding stuff.
Here, into the drum zone with Jack.
Here we are.
So, very, very nice kit. Very, very shiny. I don't know anything about drums, other than this kit is nice and shiny.
The most important part about the shininess is that it has some real copper shards.
Is that real copper shiny?
Inside the wrap there on the edge, which is a pretty cool feature of this kit.
It is.
But yeah, it's a PDP kit, which is a subsidiary brand of DW.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of works really well for the live stuff. It's a bit of a workhorse.
Yeah.
It's got quite nice thick shells to it.
Have you got a kit that you like to use in the studio?
I have, yeah. I've got in the studio. I've got another kit that I always use, which is an old Slingerland kit.
Right.
It's a 1966 Gene Krupa Slingerland,
right.
which is I don't always take it out on the road sometimes, but it's just because it's an older kit. I like to kind of keep it for the studio.
Has it got like a 26-inch bass drum kind
No,
of thing?
it's the same setup as this pretty much.
Wow.
This is 22, 12 and 16 with the 14-inch snare, but the Slingerland is 22, 13 and 16. But yeah, I just had a friend that found a guy. I've been looking for a Slingerland kit for ages, and we found this guy that was an amazing jazz player.
Yeah.
And he'd put it on Gumtree. Went round to his place, and he just had a house full of kits. and he said, yeah, I've just been thinking about selling on this Slingerland. It hasn't been used too much. I think I might have gigged it once since 1966, but so it's in amazing condition.
Wow.
It works great. But yeah, this one just does it really well for the road. Same snare that I use in the studio. That's a Mapex Black Panther bird's eye maple snare. And then I really love these the Remo Vintage A heads
Kings
that are on there. Yeah. So those heads give me the sound really, and then kind of classic cymbals really.
Yeah, K series.
Yeah, K Customs. I like the hybrid, which have a bit of brilliant finish in the centre, traditional around the edge.
Nice.
So yeah, makes a lot of noise. Does the job. Yeah, I think that's about everything for my setup there.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Nice one.
Cheers, Jack.